Happy Tuesday. It's Pastor Tofar coming at you with our midweek preview for the coming Sunday. I want to touch on last week just a little bit, just because of a message I received from one of you that I want to share the gist of with the rest of you. The sermon Sunday I talked about we need to listen to our kids. We need to get back to how our kids know and understand the stories of God's love and what God's love is supposed to look like in the world. And we don't always know. We don't always know if they're listening. We don't always know what they hear. We never quite know what their understanding of the stories we tell are. So I just want to share with you one of our members, and I didn't ask permission to use names, so I won't. But one of our members whose young child was in worship yesterday, and it's not my own. I tell enough stories about my own children. This one is not my own. I just wanted to thank for the sermon yesterday. Our child must have been listening to you, because without saying anything to her this morning, she made a sign that said, "Have a nice day," and decorated it and gave it to one of our neighbors. And then her and her cousin made a bunch more signs and a pan of brownies and walked them down the street and handed them out to all the workers that are building a house 2 doors down. We never even said anything about it to them. They just wanted to do something nice for a group of guys they've never met. They walked down there by themselves while Mom stood in the driveway and watched. It was a proud daddy moment. Our kids get it. Our kids get God's love. They haven't confused it with anything else yet. They know what it means to love their neighbor because they are loved. We need to get back to listening to our kids, what it is that they have to say for us. So that's just touching on what we said last week. Just another story, make you feel good midweek. Tomorrow we return to our midweek programming. We'll be back on. We were off last week for the Interfaith Prayer Service, which if you went, we had a good number of people there. It was a wonderful evening, just hearing from different faith backgrounds, all of which were praying for peace. Every single one of them praying for peace. Think about that. I know that's not the understanding we might have of other religions in the world, but every single speaker prayer was praying for peace. Because we need to. So, we return to action tomorrow night, Wednesday. 5 o'clock dinner, 6 o'clock worship. Following worship, our education time. And we are moving towards Sunday morning education as well, so stay tuned. We'll keep you posted. We're figuring out the details on what that will be, but we are going to be offering something, so that's exciting as well. Our gospel text for this Sunday is Matthew 22, verse 1 through 14, the parable of the wedding banquet. Once more Jesus spoke to them in parables, saying, "The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who gave a wedding banquet for his son. He sent his slaves to call those who had been invited to the wedding banquet, but they would not come. Again he sent other slaves, saying, 'Tell those who have been invited, look, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fat calves have been slaughtered, and everything is ready. Come to the wedding banquet.' But they made light of it and went away, one to his farm, another to his business, while the rest seized his slaves, mistreated them, and killed them. The king was enraged. He sent his troops, destroyed those murderers, and burned their cities. Then he said to his slaves, 'The wedding is ready, but those invited were not worthy. Go therefore into the main streets and invite everyone you find to the wedding banquet.' Those slaves went out into the streets and gathered all whom they found, both good and bad. So the wedding hall was filled with guests. But when the king came in to see the guests, he noticed a man there who was not wearing a wedding robe. And he said to him, 'Friend, how did you get in here without a wedding robe?' And he was speechless. Then the king said to the attendants, 'Bind him hand and foot, and throw him into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen.'" Here ends the reading of the gospel. And in true parable form, we feel good. And Jesus throws a wrench. Jesus has to upset the apple cart. It was a feel-good story. Go invite the people from the street and bring them in, good and bad. And he throws a wrench. Think about it. Let me know your thoughts. Email them to me. Comment on Facebook. Wherever it is that you see this, let me know what your thoughts are. How this wrench that Jesus throws, how this upsetting of the apple cart hits you, where you're at this week, what's going on. Let me know what your thoughts are. We look forward to hearing from you. See you tomorrow or Sunday. Have a great week. Bye.